everyone, Joshua here, and going back to a new Simpsons video, and we're back with a new reviewing of my favorite Simpson episodes, and this is another good, good Simpson episode that I enjoy, and yeah, it has different Bible parodies, it's a parody of different Bible stories, and some of my personal favorite Bible stories as well, and yeah, it starts with everybody in church on an Easter morning, and yeah, everybody's giving money into the offering plate, and everybody's so hot as well, and yeah, Bart is even saying that this praying mantis is even hot, and yeah, he's just exhausted, which my mom would not like that, because she does not like praying mantises, and yeah, the Reverend is wondering who brought this chocolate bunny into the offering plate. And of course, yeah, Homer said that he found it in the trash. And yeah, the Reverend is going to be reading in the book. And he starts from the very beginning with in the beginning God created the heavens and the earth. And yeah, Marge ends up falling asleep. And yeah, we see the first story, which is Adam and Eve. AKA the very first story, obviously, right? Because obviously it's, up there with the beginning. God created the heavens and the earth, and he created all the animals, the oceans, in the days, and rested on the seventh day. And of course he created Adam, and we see Eve as well. And, that's when, of course, the first sin was, and where sin was even born into the world. Which, yeah, we see Eve, even, of course, in the Bible, Adam was, of course, first. And so, yeah, men were created first, and then women were, of course, created from the parts of Adam. But yeah, we see Marge waking up, and yeah, seeing Adam, which of course is Homer, and yeah, he ends up falling and hitting on these rocks, which of course he has no pain in the paradise that they're in, and saying that God has created a woman for Homer from some of his body part, and even seeing this talking pig, and even Homer just grabbing pieces of pork off of him. And then we see Ned Flanders as in the story, and gives him some magazines, and even telling him to not eat on the forbidden tree, just like in the actual story. God telling Adam and Eve that you can eat from any tree except for the forbidden tree that he tells them to. He tells them you can eat from any other parts of the place that they're in, except for one tree, which that is the tree that they do end up eating. And yeah, Homer and Marge are just sitting at a tree, and then we see Snake. Snake as a snake. Snake as a snake. Of course, Snake is representing Satan in this, because, Satan, the devil, is the snake in the Adam and Eve story on the Bible. And Satan telling them that, lying to them, saying that if you eat this tree, you won't die. From this tree, you won't die, but have powers, lying to them. And again, this is when the first sin was created, because Adam and Eve, which of course Eve ain't so sure about it, but gives her some, and yeah, they both ate from the forbidden tree, and of course God is, of course, angry with them, right? He is angry with them for eating from the forbidden tree, and he banishes them, right? Like on the story, banishes them to out of the place. And of course, when in the story, when they ate from the tree, they noticed something weird, and that they were naked. Yeah, that they were naked when you read the story. And of course, they are hiding from God because of how they disobeyed him, even though he said not to eat from the tree. But of course, it was Satan that caused them to sin. And yeah, Homer ends up getting Marge out of the place, the paradise, and Homer's getting this pig's rib. And of course, he's not so on it with with Marge not there now. And seeing Marge just looking for of herself outside of the paradise, and this unicorn even helps digs a hole for Marge to get back into. But yeah, they end up getting back to each other, and of course, Ned, playing God in this story, is of course angry and flicks. Which, yeah, he sees that he managed to kill the unicorn and flicks Homer and flicks Marge out of the paradise, and Homer lands painfully on a rock and actually is able to feel pain now. And yeah, ends up feeling pain even more when Marge falls on top of him. And yeah, they're like, God can't hold a grudge that long, and thinking that they can go back to the paradise not so long from now. But of course, they were never able to go back, right? Adam and Eve were never able to go back when they got sent away and had some angels guarding the entrance for nobody to enter again. And yeah, Marge then wakes up, and yeah, we see the bunny is starting to melt because of how hot it is. And yeah, the Reverend's still talking, and Lisa starts going to sleep. And then we see some of the Israelites. Yeah, this is Moses. Moses and the Israelites. Which is another one of my favorite stories. Moses trying to get the Israelites and telling Pharaoh to let his people go. And where the commandments and the plagues come into play. Well, the plagues came first, and then, of course, after wandering 40 years in the desert, Moses got the commandments from God. The 10 Commandments. But yeah, we see the Israelites just playing and having to be told to get back to work. And yeah, we see them, of course, in the slavery, and we see the Pharaoh, which is played by Principal Skinner. And, of course, he's wondering what happened with his coffin and who's responsible for this. And this burning bus snitches on Bart, which gets him in trouble. And, yeah, having to clean these toilets. And, yeah, Moses, with his millhouse on here, is telling them to let the people go, which, of course, he refuses, just like in the story. And, yeah, they get kicked out. And then, yeah, the Pharaoh trying to tell Mrs. Krabappel on these things that then they're dropping frogs on top of them, which, yeah, he ends up eating the frogs. And, of course, saying that it's a plague. And, yeah, they get sent into this tomb and having to figure out how to get out, which, yeah, the spikes are coming out. And, yeah, they end up not getting crushed, and they end up climbing out, and, yeah, telling all of the kids, all of the Israelites, that they are being freed. And, yeah, even getting Bart as well, saying a little thing from the beginning, the intro of The Simpsons. And, yeah, being told Pharaoh that the Israelites are leaving, and, of course, Pharaoh changing his mind and getting them back. Which, yeah, then they see the sea and Pharaoh chasing after them, and yeah, Moses trying to get some help. Which then they use different toilets, and yeah, just drain the ocean. Which, of course, on the story, God splits the ocean for them to walk into, and yeah, they end up, the Pharaoh's armies and Pharaoh manage to get into the water. And yeah, get swept away. And yeah, they all celebrate, and Lisa saying now they have 40 years of wandering in the wilderness. And yeah, they are still just listening to the Reverend, and still hot as well. And Homer then goes to sleep. And then we have another story, which is, I know it's one of the kings that they said. I cannot remember what the name was, but I know it's from another story, part of another story, from another character from the Bible. King something. I cannot remember. I hate when that happens, but yeah. Then he gets his pie from the guards and eating the pie while the guys are getting executed. And yeah, seeing Jesus and this guy on this trial. And then yeah, Bart trying to wake him up. And then Bart then goes to sleep. And then we get another good story that I like, and it is David and Goliath. But technically, David has already killed Goliath on this one, and there's like Goliath's son. But yeah, see King David and Krusty as a jester, and one of King David's friends getting killed, and seeing a picture of when he defeated Goliath. But no, apparently Goliath has a son. And yeah, we see David versus Goliath 2, Stone Cold. And yeah, go into the field and see Goliath's son. And yeah, of course, Bart doesn't have any stones to slingshot. And yeah, gets beaten in the head and gets Goliath's son's hair cut. And yeah, gets slings away from the slingshot and gets Bart's crown. And yeah, lands in some mud, and then we see Ralph saying that he's gonna go and defeat Goliath, and yeah, he's dead. Just like that, Ralph dies, and yeah, Bart is gonna have nothing with this when it comes. Not gonna take Goliath doing this to all the people, and yeah, just getting ready and trying to get up with this to this tower with this grappling hook, but ends up choking this guard and making him fall, and then several others too. And then we see this whale, and yeah, Jonah is inside. Jonah is inside the whale, and then sees this huge corn on the cob, and using the little things that you can use for the corn on the cob to eat it easier, to get on top of it, the tower, and yeah, gets to the Goliath son and throws the fire into his mouth, which causes him to explode, and thinking that they killed Goliath, but no, he's still there. And then he falls down the tower all dead because Ralph's tombstone is there. And yeah, Ralph didn't die. Yeah, Ralph did not die. He is alive somehow. And everybody was saying how Goliath's son was the best king that they had, showing all these different things that they managed to do. And yeah, King David gets arrested. And then when they wake up, apparently everybody's left. But when they open the doors, the apocalypse happened. Yep, the apocalypse happened. We see the 4 horsemen that the Bible has said when it comes to the apocalypse, that of course there will be 4 horsemen, right? Be representing 4 horsemen that there will be. And yeah, they have missed the rapture. They have missed the rapture, as Lisa says that it's the rapture. And yeah, Maud, Ned, and Rod and Todd are getting floated up to heaven. And yeah, Lisa's about to get up there, but Homer grabs her and puts her back onto the ground. And then we see the floor open up, the ground open up, and fire coming out of it, which of course Homer smells food. And yeah, they go down into pretty much hell. And yeah, just hear them screaming. But yeah, again, an episode that I do enjoy. But yeah, I'd like to know what y'all think. Let me know in the comments below. Get to the next one.